Hello YouTubers, today I'm going to show you how to make some adorable chocolate covered caramel apple characters. Caramel apples are kind of a favorite of everybody's during the fall and the entire apple season. These take quite a bit of work. At the end I'll give you some ideas on how to make it easier on yourself and how to get your kids involved. These do require some fondant. That we have videos on how to make the different types of fondant. Also, modeling chocolate would work. Actually, for some pieces, modeling chocolate would actually be better, but I'm going to use fondant for this video. So check those out. Let's go ahead and get them started. To make your caramel apple characters, you're going to need a few things. Obviously, caramel apples. Then you're going to need a batch of marshmallow fondant. And you'll want to color that into a variety of different colors, whichever ones you want. So you're going to need some food coloring. Coloring fondant, gel food coloring works the best. Then you're going to need a batch of chocolate fondant and a batch of chocolate ganache. When making the ganache and the fondant, you want to use the same chocolate chips. That way the color is as similar as possible. I'm using these Hershey Special Darks just because it's one of my favorite flavors. Let's go ahead and whip these babies up. First thing you'll need to make our caramel apple characters is caramel apples, obviously. You can either make your own or buy store-bought ones. If you're going to make your own, pick apples that stand up straight. You don't want your characters leaning to one side or the other. Also, you are going to inevitably end up with a pool of caramel around the bottom of your apple. After it's firmed up, you want to use a pair of scissors or a really sharp knife to cut that off. To make the eyes for the characters, roll out some colored fondant, whatever color that you want to use for the particular character that you're working on, and some of the chocolate fondant, roll it out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. For the colored part, use like a 1-inch cookie cutter to cut out your circles. To make the pupil, I've just been using a decorator tip that I had. To attach the pupil to the colored part of the eye, just put a little water on the back of the pupil and press it down lightly onto the colored part, then set them aside to dry. To make the ears, you just want to roll out a ball of your chocolate fondant, and then you can just use the palm of your hand to press it down to about 1/4 inch thick, and then you can cut this out with a cookie cutter. You can just shape it into a round shape. You can mold it into something like a teardrop shape, just using your fingers where you bring it to a point at the top, and you can have an ear like that. Keep an apple handy and hold your ear up to it just to make sure it's a proper size. You don't want it too big, but you don't want it too small. These are supposed to be caricatures, so make them a little bit bigger. To make the noses for your characters, just take some fondant and roll it into a ball, and then take your thumb and press down, and it'll make kind of a circle. You want to make it about 1/4 inch thick. I've been making my noses thicker than the eyes so they stand out. You can leave it as just a round circle, or you can make it kind of into a teardrop shape just by kind of squeezing here at the ends. So you can use your fingers and mold it into any shapes that you want. Again, keep your apple handy and hold it up to make sure it's the proper size. We're now ready to cover our caramel apples with our chocolate ganache. You want to get all over the apple except for the bottom. And we're just going to spread it on. I'm using this little spatula, but you can use a butter knife as well. I've got my apple frosted. When you're not working with your ganache, cover it up with plastic wrap. That'll just help keep it from firming up too much. Now that you've got just a layer of ganache on it, and you can see I didn't put it on very neatly, is you want to take your butter knife, your spatula, whatever you're using, and you want to go around the entire apple Put your spatula or knife up against it and pull quickly away from it. This is the stage you want your ganache in. When you make it, you may have to let it set in the refrigerator for at least an hour to get to this stage. You want to make sure that when you touch it and pull up on it with a knife or back of a spoon, that it makes these kind of stiff peaks so we can make our fur. I've gone around my entire apple, and by touching your spatula or your knife to it and pulling away quickly, you make all these little spikes that look like fur. Now comes the fun part. It's time to put our decorations on. Here are completed characters. We have a cat, a mouse, and a wolf. I gave him a little bit beadier eyes just to make him a little more intimidating. Gave the mouse and the wolf some teeth, and put some whiskers on the mouse and the cat. I hope you enjoyed the video on how to make these chocolate covered caramel apple characters. As you can see, they took quite a bit of time and effort. To make it easier, you could use candy in place of the fondant. I'm sure your kids collected a lot of candy on Halloween night, and it's a great way to get them involved as well. You can use Lifesavers, M&Ms, mini marshmallows, Gumdrops, licorice whips, all kinds of different candies, chop up chocolate bars for the ears. It's a great way to get your kids involved. I put some ideas in the description for you. Please join our channel. We hope to see you back real soon.